Hello everyone. Namaste. Welcome to my channel Love Life with Arundhati. Today I shall talk about the most amazing thing that is happening today right now. That is the solar eclipse. Now the solar eclipse, why is it so special? Even the lunar eclipse. It's because at one glance we can see, contemplate and make offerings to the sun and the moon, which means we can make offerings, pay respect to the masculine and feminine energies of the world, to the balance of the masculine and the feminine, and the coming together of the masculine of the feminine, and the feminine of the masculine, and creating new life, creating the whole universe. So, seeing the sun and the moon together is like seeing the whole universe in one glance. And today is the right opportunity to tell you about something that is very close to my heart. What is darkness? Is darkness the absence of light? Total absence of light? So, if you require light to define darkness, can darkness ever exist without light? No. It's zero light. If you say the darkest means zero light, but still you have to define darkness with light. And similarly, light cannot be defined without darkness. Zero darkness. So you must have heard this, that light and darkness exist together, and there are so many movies and cultural references to this. But to understand it deeply, to understand it in a practical way, I would state the example of something that is very easy to understand. These are trees and plants. If you see trees and plants, you'll see that they have this aerial part, which is, as you can see, the shoot, the branches, the fruits, the flowers. And there is a part that is totally invisible. That is the root system. Only when we dig out a tree, sometimes to transplant it or because it is dead, do we get to see the roots. So while the shoots of the tree, grow bigger, brighter outwards, claiming more and more light, the roots go deeper and spread out, claiming more and more nourishment. Darkness is not really darkness. Darkness is what? The absence of light. And in the universe, both have their purposes. There are so many plants which, if they do not receive any total darkness, they start to wither because their roots do not grow at all. And unless there are roots, there are no nutrients coming to the plant. And what happens in the daytime? The plant produces oxygen among many other things, but mostly produces carbohydrates. Food, not just for itself, but for all the universe, for all the world, for all animals, for all other plants also, the ones that do not have chlorophyll. So, the morning, the day, the high noon, it's for action. And the night is for rest. And the night is also for what? For growth. If you have seen little babies, infants, when children are born, the first babies, when they are born, they are supposed to sleep for 20 hours, 22 hours per day. And slowly the duration of sleep reduces and the baby's growth rate also reduces. This is the same as the plants. The growth happens at night. When you work in the garden, you'll see a lot of plants which are fast growers. When you get up in the morning, you'll see they have gained a lot of height. Suddenly, they have claimed some new territory, they have gone in some new direction. Growth happens when we rest, and actions happen when we do not rest. Both are required. There is so much talk about all action is good and stagnation is so bad. But this good and bad is defined by our perceptions and sometimes by our cultural background, by our being human. Why? Attachment. Because I am human, I am attached to this body. I am attached to the identity of Arunati. I like to be in this life. I am attached to the people in my life, to my home, my properties, my plans. I am attached to so many things. This attachment causes me to not want to die. And whenever I think of death, I think anything that brings me closer to death is darkness. But if I was not attached, would I care if I live or die? Because if I'm eternal, I know that. I have that sense inside that I am eternal. And this human life is not the only form of life that I have. Would I care if I live or die? And if I do not care if I live or die, if I do not care whether I'm in pain or not, if I do not care about the attachment to pleasure, what is darkness? So think of it today. In this energy of the eclipse, it's very, very important for you to think, what is darkness? Like Khalil Gibran says, what is darkness? And what is evil? Evil is good, tortured by its own hunger and thirsted by its own thirst. Those are not the exact words, but that is the gist. It means when good is hungry, will finally, if it is too hungry, will ultimately eat anything that is available. And when thirsty, even the best of the best will drink from dirty, putrid waters. So good, pushed to a point of desperation, becomes so-called bad. And here I also will mention the goddess Mahakali. And all gods and goddesses, but this Devi mantra you must have heard when we say Gunashraye, Gunamayi, Narayani, Namastate. It does not say what is gun. What is gun? When we talk of guns, we say in Bengali it comes down to the good characters. But if you see the root word, gun only means characters. Gunashraye, Gunamayi, the creator of this world, is the container for all characters. And at the same time, she is Gunamayi, meaning she is the embodiment of all characters, both good and bad, so-called good and bad. So today the message is of tolerance, of accepting the gray areas in our lives and knowing that life as it is and we as we are complete, perfect, and totally loved, intentional creatures of the universe, intentional creations of the universe. The universe intended us to be like this. We are not mistakes. There is nothing that is so-called bad within us. We live by dharma. We live by the principles of good because that is good for the society. The society has an inertia of its own which is born of attachment. So when we say forces of the light, we talk of forces that encourage life. And when we say forces of darkness, we talk of forces that encourage death. Life and death both exist together. One cannot exist with the other. So have a lovely day today. Contemplate on acceptance, on total acceptance. When we accept ourselves, we can accept every other thing. And we understand that we are not separate from this whole wide world. We are a part of it. We are a part of something that is so much greater, full of sunshine, full of moonshine, full of growth that goes deep, and full of ambition that grows upwards. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day today. See you soon. Namaste.